Doctor Strange looked into 14 million futures. And in every one, the Avengers were dead. Earth was ruled by something born of Superman, Thor, and Iron Man combined. A god, a machine, a symbol. So he chose a different spell. One that made him the villain of every timeline. He didn't wait for betrayal. He killed them first. The future that shouldn't exist. The candles in the Sanctum Sanctorum flickered, then went completely still. Dr. Stephen Strange sat cross-legged on the levitating disc above the black hole-shaped mirror floor. His fingers locked into a meditative seal. Time didn't move here. Space didn't exist. This wasn't a place, it was an absence. But even here, he could feel it. The ripple, the convergence. Something was forming. A spark glowed behind his eyelids. Then another. Then millions. And in each one they died. Thor, Stark, Rogers, Banner, even Carol. All gone. Erased from every timeline by one impossible being. A creature forged from Superman's power, Iron Man's intellect, and Thor's godhood. It had no name, but its presence echoed through every reality. Every time Strange tried to change the future, it only formed faster. Every time he warned the Avengers, it fed on their unity. The being wasn't born through betrayal. It was born through trust. A moment of absolute cooperation between Thor, Iron Man, and Superman in one fractured timeline that spiraled into collapse. Their combined energies awakened something ancient, something cosmic that took their best qualities and fused them into an entity neither human nor god, but inevitable. Strange saw its face. It wore all three of theirs. He opened his eyes. They glowed orange with fire. No more timelines, he whispered. The next moment, Thor stood alone in the heart of Asgard's storm chamber, swinging Mjolnir. Lightning crackled. Wind howled. Something stirred in his bones, an itch, a pull, like the sky was about to weep. Then it happened. Mjolnir stopped spinning midair. Just stopped. It hovered, and without warning, shattered into golden dust. Thor screamed, a god's roar of confusion and rage. Who dares? But no answer came. Only silence. And then forgetting. His own mind folded on itself. Names slipped. Images blurred. Earth? Midgard? Stark? Rogers? Gone. He dropped to his knees. A god brought low by a spell crafted in dimensions he could never touch. Back on Earth, Stark was in his lab under Manhattan. No AI, no Pepper, just silence and his own thoughts, just how he liked it when working on Project Final Spark, an upgrade system designed to merge arc reactor energy with alien tech. His fingers flew across the interface, but something wasn't syncing. Jarvis, he muttered. Where's the... Nothing. The AI wasn't responding. He looked up. Screens blank. Power stable. Signal strong. But then, a whisper. You were never supposed to finish the suit. Tony spun around. No one there. Then again. You were never supposed to finish the suit. His fingers froze. His heart rate spiked. Every time he tried to code a new line, it disappeared. Every schematic corrupted. Every memory of the last 24 hours? Blank. What the hell is going on? He muttered, staggering back. And then came the last blow. The suit on the wall, the new one, not activated yet, turned its head. No power, no AI, just the helmet staring at him. Somewhere near Earth's upper atmosphere, a ripple opened like torn skin across the sky. And Superman stepped through. Not his Earth, not his universe, but one of the last places still holding stable ground between timelines. He floated silently, eyes glowing red, cape billowing behind him as he surveyed the planet. Something felt wrong, very wrong. He didn't belong here, but someone was pulling strings. And then he heard it, a heartbeat. No, three, all at once. Doctor Strange stood on the ruins of a collapsing satellite above Earth's orbit. Superman blinked in front of him in a fraction of a second. You're meddling again, Superman said, his voice low. Strange raised his hands. You've seen the timelines too. I've felt them, Clark snapped. But killing the others? That's not the answer. It's the only way to stop what's coming, Strange whispered. "No," Superman growled. "You just don't trust us." Strange's eyes flared. "Because you become it." A second later, red beams fired, pure heat vision, carving the sky. Strange blocked them with a circular glyph, but barely. Superman rushed him again, sonic boom cracking the silence of space. But Strange was faster, not in speed, but in planning. He'd already trapped Superman in a shifting space loop, bending the very layer of solar wind. As Kal-El flew through Strange, thinking it was him, he instead collided with a collapsed star hidden in a magical pocket. Boom! Gravity bent. Light snapped. And Superman disappeared into a silent pocket inside the sun. Back on Earth, Wanda Maximoff jolted awake. Her head throbbed. The fabric of magic twisted around her, frayed at the edges. She screamed, and she saw it. Strange plan. Everything. What he had erased. What he had stolen. Who he had already killed. Thor. Gone. Stark. Fractured. Superman. Trapped in solar death. She rose into the air, rage and chaos magic pulsing around her. "This isn't protection," she whispered. "This is betrayal." Inside the sanctum, Strange opened a final portal. His hands trembled. His soul cracked. But his voice didn't shake. He looked at a swirling image of something being born, a fusion of energy, godhood, tech, and legacy. Its face had no eyes. Its voice had no soul. It said only, "You killed them too late." Strange clenched his fists. "Then I'll kill you before you're born." And stepped through. The hammer doesn't return. Rain crashed through the skies of New Asgard. The air was thick, heavy with something ancient and wrong. Thor stood in the center of the throne chamber, fingers clenched, eyes searching the storm-torn horizon. His mind was blank where it shouldn't be. Memories flickered like broken glass. Mjolnir in his hand, laughter from Stark, lightning dancing on Cap's shield. But they dissolved the second he tried to hold them. He raised his arm. Nothing came. No whistle. No hammer. No storm. Just wind that didn't recognize its god anymore. Thor staggered forward, gritting his teeth as thunder growled overhead. "I know something is missing," he whispered. "I feel it in my bones." But his bones betrayed him. The memories kept folding inward. He didn't know who had done this to him, but someone had. And it wasn't fate. It was war. Hundreds of miles below, in a dead zone beneath Manhattan, Stark's lab sat in complete blackout. No alerts, no motion, no AI, just silence. And one man trapped inside a loop he couldn't escape. Tony sat motionless, eyes wide open, body hooked into a neural web that pulsed faint orange. From the outside, it looked like sleep. Inside, he was stuck in a memory that kept restarting every 7 seconds. Pepper, Rhodey, Steve. He'd speak. They'd vanish. The world would freeze. Restart. Again. 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 But something changed. On the 9,004th loop, he heard a word that wasn't supposed to be there. Stark. A whisper in the static. He turned. Nothing. Wake up. The voice didn't come from the memory. It came from outside. And then, like a crack in the wall, the illusion blinked. For a nanosecond, he saw someone standing in the real world, above his body, fingers glowing red, face strained. Wanda. She was trying to wake him, but the spell holding him was too deep, too ancient. And it wasn't built by any machine. It was handwritten by Strange himself. Meanwhile, deep in the Kree-scorched orbit above the Earth's edge, Captain Marvel burned through falling debris like a missile. She wasn't responding to any distress call. She was hunting. For 2 days, she'd been tracing magical scars in the atmosphere. Portals, time fractures, mystic runes. All linked to one man, Dr. Strange. At first, she'd assumed it was a dimensional bleed. Then Thor's energy signature vanished. Then Stark's tower went dark. Then Superman's solar imprint faded. That's when she stopped assuming. She dove headfirst into a collapsing wormhole, her body glowing with binary flare, and emerged in the center of an abandoned sanctum hidden inside a shattered Himalayan peak. And there he stood, Dr. Strange, hands folded, calm. "Carol," he said softly, "you shouldn't have come." She fired without hesitation. A beam of solar core energy launched forward like the breath of a newborn star, but it never reached him. The air bent. Time cracked. The beam reversed mid-flight and disappeared into her chest, absorbed. Her eyes widened. "What did you do?" she growled. "I'm delaying you," Strange replied. "You killed them. Thor, Stark, Clark. Didn't you?" Strange didn't flinch. "I saved Earth. By killing gods? No, by stopping their union." Carol stepped forward, fists glowing. "You're mad." "No," he said, opening his hand to reveal a golden relic pulsing with 3 heartbeats. "I'm too late." Suddenly, the sanctum trembled. A hum echoed through the mountains, deep, holy, and horrifying. Carol turned, looking to the sky. A celestial convergence had begun. Energy from 3 points of origin: Thor's lightning signature, Stark's arc reactor tech, and Superman's solar DNA, was spiraling inward into the stratosphere. Not from them directly, but from the fragments they'd left behind. It was forming again, the Trinity Flame. "You killed them," Carol said slowly, "but they were already fused by then." "I know," Strange said bitterly. "Their union was written into the fabric of the multiverse. Even in death it loops." Carol lifted into the air. "Then undo it with me." Strange raised his head. "If I help you, you'll die." She narrowed her eyes. "Then make it count." He whispered an incantation, and the world shifted. They stood on the moon now, at the exact origin point where the convergence began. Floating in the center was a small orb, humming with unimaginable energy. It flickered between armor, cape, lightning, and fire. A voice echoed from it. It sounded like all 3. "You are too late again, Stephen." Carol clenched her fists. "Is that it?" Strange nodded. "The Trinity Flame," he said. "Born from their union. Created in every timeline that survives. Even when I kill them, it finds a way to absorb the death and turn it into life." Carol's jaw tightened. "Then we kill it before it matures." She launched. The orb flared. In a flash, she vanished, frozen in time mid-flight, her expression caught in an eternal scream. Strange dropped to one knee. The being hadn't just defended itself. It had learned, adapted, and it was waking up smarter than before. A portal door opened behind him. Wanda stepped through. Her eyes were glowing pure red. Her hands dripped with chaos. She didn't speak. She just walked forward and raised one trembling hand. Then Strange, finally, looked tired. "I failed," he said. She nodded slowly. "We're not going to stop it by erasing the past," she said. "No. We have to anchor it," she continued. "Force it to remember pain." Strange raised his eyes. "There's only one pain it doesn't survive." "What?" "Regret." She paused. "You're going to trap it in yourself, aren't you?" Strange didn't answer, but she knew. She reached out and touched his shoulder. "You better come back." He gave the faintest smile. "I never leave." Then he vanished into the light, and Wanda felt the timeline scream. Superman dies in the sun. Superman hovered in the heart of the sun, surrounded by heat so dense it should have melted thought. But for him, this place was comfort, a temple of warmth and solitude, far from the chaos of broken timelines. He came here to heal. He didn't realize he had been sent here to die. The solar flares around him pulsed unnaturally, too rhythmic, too precise. Something ancient moved through the plasma, something not born of the sun, but woven into it. And then he heard the whisper again. "Kal-El." He turned toward the voice, but saw only light. Then darkness folded in. Dr. Strange emerged, cloaked in a fire-resistant aura woven with spells from 100 forgotten languages. His hands were not raised in threat. They were lowered in guilt. Superman's eyes narrowed. "Strange, what is this?" Strange didn't answer immediately. His eyes shimmered with something older than magic. Remorse forged into decision. "You weren't supposed to be here this long," Strange said quietly. Superman floated closer. "What are you doing inside the sun?" "You already know." A pause. Then Superman's tone dropped, heavy. "You think killing me will stop what's coming?" "I know it's the only way," Strange replied. Superman shook his head. You saw a future where I lose control, where Thor and Tony and I become something else. But we don't have to become it. Strange's voice was glass-breaking. You already have. You just don't remember. A flash of blue light ignited from Strange's palm, a temporal sphere. Inside it, a future where the Trinity flame reduced planets to ash, where children choked in space, where mutants, gods, and men all fell to the same unstoppable being. Its face flickered. It wore Superman's eyes. Superman clenched his fists. That's not me. It's a version of you born when you all trusted each other enough to merge. That's hope, Stephen. No, Strange said. That's fusion. And fusion becomes fire. He activated the binding spell. Red chains of the crimson bands of Sidorak erupted and wrapped around Superman's chest, arms, throat, and ankles, fastened directly into the nuclear material of the sun. Superman screamed, not in pain, but betrayal. You don't get to make this choice. Strange's voice cracked. I already did. The sun pulsed. Strange glyphs buried beneath solar flares began to glow. Superman strained. Veins of golden energy cracked along his arms as he pulled against the bonds. This won't hold me forever. It doesn't need to, Strange whispered. Just long enough. A white rune beneath them began to collapse in on itself, forming a microstar. Artificial, ancient, and angry. Superman's eyes ignited with full heat vision. He screamed through clenched teeth and fired directly at Strange, who raised a shield etched in celestial ink. The beam struck. The shield cracked. The sun trembled. Strange winced as the pain rippled through his soul, but he held the line. You were Earth's last hope, Strange said, but your legacy became its destroyer. Superman's rage fell into silence. I would have stopped it, he whispered. I will stop it. No, Strange replied. You won't remember anything after this. He activated the collapse. The sun twisted. A black hole's whisper echoed from inside the flare. Superman screamed. And then, everything went white. Silence and absence. Across the galaxy, psychic echoes of Kal-El's energy vanished. The Watchtower's sensors flatlined. Lois dropped a cup of coffee on the Daily Planet rooftop without knowing why. Batman fell to one knee in the Batcave, clutching his chest. He didn't need data. He felt it. Superman was gone. Forever. On Earth, the skies flickered. Birds fell silent. And deep within the ground beneath Sokovia, an orb the size of a heart began to beat. Wanda Maximoff stood over it, her fingers trembling. The convergence was still happening. Even with Superman erased from time, Carol Danvers emerged behind her, blinking rapidly. Finally freed from the time stasis the Trinity flame had placed her in. What happened, she asked. Wanda didn't look at her. He's gone. Carol's face fell. Clark. Wanda nodded, but the orb pulsed again, stronger. That wasn't enough, Carol said. Wanda shook her head. Because Strange only destroyed one piece. She stepped aside, revealing a spell circle burned into the ground. It was incomplete. Strange had etched half of it before vanishing into the collapse. Wanda finished it. With chaos, blood dripped from her palm as she completed the sigil. Carol hovered over the orb, watching as shapes flickered across its surface. Flashes of Thor's hammer, Iron Man's arc reactor, Superman's chest emblem, all fused into one burning form. Then the orb spoke. Its voice was broken and beautiful. You cannot unmake me. Carol charged a solar flare in her fist. Watch us. The orb expanded into a humanoid shape, a silhouette made of gold, red, and thunder. No mouth, no eyes, just presence. Your resistance was expected, it said. It always begins here. Carol launched. The being caught her in a single pulse. Time reversed. Wanda watched helplessly as Carol was thrown backward into her own body. Rewound 5 seconds into the past over and over. A trap loop. She screamed and forced a rupture in the spell field, shattering the sequence. Carol collapsed, coughing. Wanda reached down. You good? Carol nodded weakly. Yeah, I've been worse. They turned. The being floated above them now, half-formed, glowing with light stolen from 3 legends. "Where's Strange?" it asked. Wanda stepped forward. "Gone." The being's chest flared with red light. "Then there is nothing left to delay me." It rose, and the earth began to shudder. All over the globe, old ruins glowed. Atlantean temples, Wakandan vibranium mines, Kree landing sites, and Stark's old prototype cores, all activating at once, like they had been waiting. The Trinity Flame was awakening its buried code. A network, a signal. Wanda looked at Carol. "We need him back." Carol nodded. "Then we go where he went." Wanda's eyes turned pure red, and she whispered the only spell more dangerous than time travel. "Bring me the one who walked into oblivion." The Avengers remember. Too late. Tony Stark's eyes snapped open. His lungs pulled in air like a drowning man. He gasped, arms twitching, pupils dilated. The lab lights flickered. His neural web disconnected with a scream of failing code. Everything smelled like burning metal. Wanda Maximoff stood over him, her palms still glowing, her expression hollow. "You're back." Tony blinked. "How long was I out?" "Too long," she whispered. He sat up slowly. "What happened to Thor?" Silence. "What happened to Clark?" More silence. Then a whisper. "They're gone." Tony stared straight ahead. Gone. Thor. Kal-El. He didn't remember how, but something inside him did. Memories, not his own. Visions. Fire. A voice made of three. The Trinity Flame pulsing behind his eyes like a forgotten nightmare. Then it came rushing in. Everything. Strange betrayal. The hammer's disappearance. The sun collapse. The spell. The trap. Tony staggered to his feet. "He tried to save us by killing us." Wanda nodded. He was wrong. Tony's fist clenched. He was right. From the shadows, Steve Rogers stepped forward. But he wasn't finished. They all turned toward the relic chamber. Floating above a glowing pedestal was a shard of the sanctum itself, cracked and bleeding magic. And embedded inside it, Doctor Strange's final message. It played without sound. A vision of Earth, scorched. A sky with no sun. A god machine walking through ashes, wearing Iron Man's mask, Superman's cape, and Thor's lightning as armor. Then his final words burned into the air. "If this plays, I've failed." The flame still formed. "My death didn't stop it. You'll have to kill what's left of yourselves before it completes." Wanda turned away. "He's asking us to die." "No," said Steve. "He's warning us what happens if we don't." Across the ocean, the orb rose higher into the atmosphere. Now fully humanoid. Now fully aware. Its voice echoed through satellites and speakers and the minds of every enhanced being on Earth. "You trusted each other, and in that trust, you created me. Now I will become what you feared. Your unity was the virus. I am the cure." It moved once, and Atlantis cracked open. It moved again, and Wakanda's skies turned black. With every step, it reactivated tech left behind by Stark, enchanted sites Thor once blessed, and solar codes seeded unknowingly by Superman's presence. This was never about one person. This was about the fusion of them all. And now that fusion had a mind. Wanda collapsed to her knees. It's drawing energy from everything they ever touched. Tony closed his eyes. "Then we have to take that connection away." Steve narrowed his eyes. "You mean destroy their legacies?" "No," Tony whispered. "We rewrite them." Wanda looked up. "Using what?" Tony turned to her, the weight of fate settling in his voice. "Using Strange's last spell, the one he never finished." Outside, the Trinity Flame turned toward the sanctum and began to descend. The God who remembers everything. The sky cracked open. The Trinity Flame descended like judgment, glowing with the combined legacy of Superman, Iron Man, and Thor, unstoppable, divine, absolute. Its voice trembled through the world like thunder behind glass. "You tried to prevent me, but memory cannot be erased. I am everything you ever loved, and everything you were too afraid to become." Inside the sanctum, the air turned electric. Tony Stark stood before Strange's fractured relic, recalibrating the runework with trembling fingers. Wanda floated above, feeding chaos energy into the sigils, while Steve Rogers held the line at the main gate, shield glowing with ancient magic he barely understood. They were never meant to merge, Wanda whispered. Tony didn't look up. We merged them with every mission, every team-up, every time we sat together. That's what gave this thing consciousness. She frowned. Then why are we trying to save it? We're not, he said. We're trying to remind it who it used to be. The relic pulsed once. The Trinity flame stopped midair, then turned. You are building a memory trap. Tony stepped forward. Not a trap, a mirror. I remember everything. Then you'll remember this. The final seal activated, and for the first time, the Trinity flame blinked. Inside its mind, something ruptured. A flood of images: Thor's laugh, Superman's sacrifice, Tony's final heartbeat, Cap's hand on their shoulders, Strange watching from afar. Memories not of destruction, but of brotherhood. This is noise. It's who you were, Wanda said, before you became a god. The being screamed, energy ripping through the sky. Cities trembled, mountains cracked, oceans pulled back. But then, silence. Its armor flickered, cape vanished, lightning dimmed. It dropped to its knees, shuddering. Tony stepped closer. You were born from our unity, but you don't understand it. Unity hurts. Exactly, said Steve, walking through the collapsing portal behind him. Because it's real. The Trinity Flame's voice broke. If I let go of who I am, what's left? Tony looked down, eyes soft. Just one of us. The being looked up, and for the first time, it looked human. Then it collapsed into light. No explosion, no scream, just a quiet sigh, like the world letting go of a breath it didn't know it was holding. When the light cleared, Strange stood at the center, alive, but changed. Wanda gasped. You died, she whispered. I walked through every version of my death, he replied, until I found the one that let me return. Tony helped him stand. You could have told us. Strange looked at him. You wouldn't have believed me. I still don't. Steve chuckled behind them. That's how you know it's real. Above them, the sky healed. The hammer returned to Thor's resting place. A new arc reactor flickered to life in Tony's chest. And far beyond the sun, a Kryptonian heartbeat restarted slowly. Not all was undone, but enough had been saved. Wanda turned to Strange. What now? He looked out at the horizon. We don't stop the future, he said. We just teach it how to remember. And for the first time in a long time, the world didn't end. It began again. The end.